Hi folks, Mike LaFond here. I've been modeling F-scale for quite some time now, but I've only really gotten serious about it in, say, the last 7 or 8 years. And I also have a blog that some of you might be aware of called Big Stacks, Little Locomotives, wordpress.com. And so I'm not going to go back over all that stuff that's in there in the sense that I'm going to give you my history and all that business. If you're interested, you can certainly go to my blog and have a look at it. Today, what I want to show you is some in-depth details on some of the stuff that I've done a while ago before I bring you up to date on what my current project is while I'm stuck at home just like everybody else. So first things first, this is the carry cases that I make for my cars. I make these because I have a very small garden railroad in my front yard, and that's all I've got. So this is the sum total of my layout. I consider it to be more of a test track than a layout. So I find it fun to take my stuff to other people's layouts to run. So I've built these boxes. They're all foam padded on the inside, and it just makes it so much easier to carry them around. So I built these boxes with a fold-out ramp so that I can just set it directly on the track, right, and then roll the car out and directly onto the rail, which is kind of cool. Make sure we don't go off the edge of the table here. And we'll get the box out of the road. So this is the very first F-scale car that I built. I got the CAD drawings for it from David Fletcher, and I then ended up I just happened to have a friend who was a member of a maker club, and I was able to give him the CAD files and the material and have him cut it for me because I don't own a laser cutter, nor am I a member of a maker club. So that was a kind of a handy thing to have. What this is a model of a Colorado Central single-door baggage car. I believe it's baggage car number 2 as it's labeled here. As you can see, inside the door here, I have steamer trunks. These are just made from chunks of wood that I shaped to give it that domed top, and bits of styrene over top of the dome to give it the straps, and then bits of gold paint and paint it up. I happen to have a trunk very much like this one at home, so I was able to use it to model from. All right, so we'll flip it over and have a look underneath it. I'm going to take the body off in a couple of minutes so you can see inside. But this is what the underside of this looks like. These trucks, I made these. I wanted as close to original Bill Meyer and Smalls trucks as I could get. But at the time I constructed these, I had only just purchased a very rudimentary 3D printer. So you can see that that's a very kind of rudimentary quality 3D print there for the shape of the truck. Now, at the time, I had access to a CNC machine. So if you look down at the bottom part here, well, even that's hard to see. What you're looking at is a frame that was CNC cut. So the wheels are actually riding in an 1/8-inch steel frame, and the 3D print is just strictly a cover over that steel frame. All right, so here we are with the body off. If we go up inside the body, right, you can see the ceiling lamps that I put in there. I made those. The brass bottom was turned. I turned that and made the cones for the lights. And you can see the wire coming down here to the battery box, which I made again to look kind of like a steamer trunk. Whoops, I've got some work to do on that, I see. All right, but it's got strapping on it and brass points on it, so it looks like a large steamer trunk. The doors on the ends, right, open and close. And then on the inside, I decided this thing needed some baggage. So there's a bunch more different steamer trunks, different styles of steamer trunks with different arches to them. And then I decided that I was going to create some shipping crates as well. Okay, so the shipping crates are there. And then I designed and printed this stove for the conductor who's sitting having his cup of coffee. You can see he's got his jacket and hat sitting on another shipping crate with some small shipping crates behind him, and he's got his feet up enjoying some warmth by the stove in the car. He's got a coal scuttle next to him here. Learning how to make the people was from an article in Garden Railways magazine. Again, if you go and look at my blog, you'll see some of the early examples. This one's fairly early too, but I think by then I'd sort of relatively figured out how to do a decent job of it. I mean, again, he's in a passenger car and you can only see him through a window. So is it a sculpture? No, but you know, it's pretty close. The stove, right, 3D printed, whoops, get the finger out of the way. 3D printed stove. So this is the second passenger car that I built. This is also a Colorado Central prototype passenger car. I have to say that for both of these cars, I got the CAD data from David Fletcher. Now, the one thing that's different here from the passenger car or from the baggage car is this truck here. Right? This truck has battery boxes built into it. There's nowhere else on this car to put batteries without them being obvious, right? This car is way too old for what would have been a battery box hanging underneath it, right? And I mean, again, it's still just got straight brakes. There's no air system involved here. It's just straight brakes. So what do you do with the batteries, right? How do you light this thing? So when I built this car, I built it with batteries hidden in the trucks. All right, so with the lid off, you can now get a look at the people on board. Right? And again, each one of these was created using Sculpey clay. Right? Some of them are better than others. Right? But they're all done with Sculpey clay and then painted up to sit in these chairs. Yeah, I'm not going to, say that any of them are great works of art. So the chair at the back here has a switch in it. So this is for my lights up in the top of the coach there. And you can see the lights up inside there again. And the wire here is going to a plug on the body so I can unplug it should I need to take them apart. And I have to reach in through the window to flick the switch to turn on the light. And that'll be the end of video 1. Have a look at Big Stacks, Little Locomotives, WordPress.com. See ya.